still emailing the blog post summaries manually to all your audience, then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to use an AI agent to email blog post summaries instantly. So over here, I'm a content manager of a skincare brand, and we regularly publish blogs on our WordPress site. And what we do is we summarize those blogs and mail it to our audience to get more engagement on our blog post. But this is such a tedious and a time-consuming task, right? So to solve this problem, I've simply created an automation where what will happen is that as soon as I add the blog post link and the title into the Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, is going to summarize that blog post and create a draft mail. Further, I'm just going to send that mail to all my audience. So easy, right? So to do this, we have simply created a connection between Google Sheets, OpenAI, which is my AI agent, again Google Sheets, and then Gmail. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we're going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also want to create this automation for your business? Then for that, you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So in this tutorial, we'll explore how to use AI agent to instantly email blog post summaries like this. So keeping your audience engaged with fresh content is essential, but manually summarizing and emailing blog posts can be time consuming. So with AI automation, you can generate and concise, compelling summaries and send them to your subscribers automatically, ensuring that they stay updated without any extra efforts. So stay tuned as I walk you through the setting of this seamless workflow. So let's get started. And to get started, I've simply opened the landing page of Pabbly by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy, and as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I'm an existing user, so I'm just going to click on this sign in. And as soon as we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. And over here, you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm just going to click on this access now given right over here. And as soon as we're going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to use an AI agent to email blog post summaries instantly. And then we are simply going to click on this button given right over here which says create. And as soon as we're going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. So trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow will run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger. And that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, we are simply going to select the trigger application as Google Sheets, because as you can see that I have the details of the blog in my Google Sheet. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and then we are simply going to select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm just going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet rows. So here what I want is that as soon as I add the blog title, main topics and the blog post link right over here in my Google Sheets, automatically this workflow should get triggered. For that, we have to simply create a connection between this Google Sheets and my Pabbly Connects workflow. And to do that, we have received this webhook URL. So I'm just going to copy this webhook URL and then I'm just going to open my Google Sheets account. Now from here, we have to go towards this extensions and then add-ons, and then we have to go towards this get add-ons button. And after coming over here towards the get add-ons, we have to add an extension right over here which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm just going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it, and as you can see that over here is the extension. But you can notice that I've already installed this extension, so that's why it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you're definitely going to receive receive the option of install right over here, and you can simply install the extension right from here. And after installing the extension, you have to refresh this sheet. All right, and after refreshing this sheet, you are going to see that when you're going to go towards this extension tabs, once again you're going to see Pabbly Connect webhooks will appear right over here automatically. And after coming over here towards the Pabbly Connect webhooks, we have to go towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards the initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column, and also it is asking me to select the sheet. So here you can see that I've selected my sheet 1 right over here. And now for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now it is asking me for the trigger column. So it is saying the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent to the webhook URL. So I'm just going to keep my trigger column as C right over here, because I want that as soon as I add the blog post link, automatically the whole of that row should be sent to my webhook URL, which is towards my workflows. And after doing this, I'm just going to click on this submit right over here. And after clicking on this submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now we are simply going to click on this send test right over here. And yes, you can see test data sent successfully. So it has successfully sent me the data of this row, which is row 2, which is the blog title, main topics, and the blog post link. All right, so I'm just going to open my Google Sheets. And yes, you can see that we have received the webhook response of the same. You can see all the details are exactly the same. The blog title, the main topics right over here, and also you can see the blog post link right over here. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now we're going to move on towards our action step. Now for my action application, I'm just going to select my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI right over here. And as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the summary of this blog post and generate a mail with the help of this AI agent. And then we are further going to forward a mail towards our audience of the same summary generated using this AI agent. And now for the action event, I'm just going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection. And now it is saying to enter the token in order to add a new connection. So here you can see that to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API keys page to get the API key. And over here you can see there's a hyperlink which will take us to the OpenAI API keys page. So I'm simply going to click on this hyperlink given right over here. And now it is opening the API keys page. And now what we're going to do is I'm just going to click on this create new secret key button right over here in order to create a new key. We simply have to give the key name right over here. Let's say that I'm just going to give the key name as test. We have to select the project and click on this create secret key button. And yes, you can see that with this we have successfully created a secret key. So I'm just going to copy the key and click on done. And yes, now I'm just going to simply paste the key right over here in my workflow. And yes, you can see that I've successfully pasted this key, and now I'm just going to simply click on this save. And as you can see that with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So as you can see that over here are multiple AI models. I've selected ChatGPT 4 right over here. You can select any of your choice. We're going to move on forward. It is asking me for the prompt. So I'm just going to enter the prompt as... So yes, you can see that this is the prompt I want to send. Generate a well-structured email summary of a blog post based on the following details. So over here, I'm just going to enter the blog title, main topics, and the blog post link. But we're not going to enter it manually, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, which is Google Sheets. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm just going to map the title first, then we're going to map the main topics. Alright, so as you can see the same, I'm just going to open the response and map it. Once again, I'm just going to map this blog post link. I'm just going to open the response of my Google Sheets, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to map it. Now you can see the further prompt is format the email as follows. And as you can see that I've specifically mentioned all the details. And now I'm just simply going to click on this save and send test request button given right over here. And as soon as I'm just going to click on this save and send test request button right over here, the AI agent is going to check for this blog post link Further, AI agent is going to generate a summary and then convert it into an email format. So as you can see that we have successfully received a positive response right over here. You can see the subject which we have received, and also right over here you can see the message content, which is the body which we have received. So yes, we are going to use this same right over here in order to send a mail. Alright, so with this we have successfully completed our this action step, which was our AI agent 1. Now I'm just going to add another action step right over here. I'm just going to send a mail to my audience. But in order to send a mail to my audience, I must first have their email addresses, right? So as you can see that in this same spreadsheet, I have another sheet named sheet 2. And over here you can see the list of my audience. So what we're going to do is first I'm just going to get this list of my audience right over here in my workflow. For that I'm just going to add my action application as Google Sheets once again. But this time for the action event, I'm just going to select it as get rows. So I'm just going to search for get rows, and then we are simply going to select it and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and then we simply have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And now I'm just going to select my Gmail account for which I want to connect this Google Sheets account with. Alright, so as you can see that now it is asking me for some permissions. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. So I'm simply going to click on this allow, and as soon as we're going to click on this allow, yes, you can see that with this we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. Alright, so now after connecting my Google Sheets account, I'm simply going to select the spreadsheet, which is this blog post summary. And after selecting my spreadsheet, over here for the sheet, I'm just going to select it as sheet 2 because I have my audience details in sheet 2 only. Alright, and now it is asking me for the range. So over here you can see the range is from A2 to C29. So I'm just going to enter the same, which is A2 and then to C29. So I'm just going to enter the range right over here. And then we are simply going to click on this save and send test request. You can see that as soon as we're going to click on this save and send test request, we are going to get the response in this format, but I want the response in simple array format. For that we have to switch off this simple response button, and then we are going to click on this save and send test request button so that I can receive the response in array format. So as you can see that now I've received the response in array format, and now what we're going to do is I'm just going to use iterator right over here. So I'm just going to add another action step. Now for my action application, I'm just going to select it as iterator. So iterator is a feature by Pabbly. It iterates, loops through all the rows one by one and execute all the below actions multiple times based on the number of the items in the whole data, which is array. And now for my action event, I'm just going to select it as process arrays, and this is the particular reason why I got the response in arrays in my previous step. Now I'm just going to click on this connect right over here. I'm just going to select the array, which is this Google Sheets response result, and click on this save and send test request button given right over here. And as you can see that we have received this response, which was the row index 2. You can see the details of my audience which were in row index 2 has been received right over here as the response. Alright, so now I'm just going to send the email. For that I'm just going to add another action step right over here, and now for my action application I'm just going to select it as Gmail. So I'm just going to search for Gmail right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now for my action event, I'm simply going to select it as send email v2, and then we are simply going to click on this connect. Once again it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So I'm just going to click on this add a new connection and add a new connection. For that I'm just going to click on this connect with Gmail. And once again, I'm just going to select my Gmail account right over here and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for. For that, I'm simply going to click on this allow right over here. And as you can see, authorization successful. With this, we have simply connected our Gmail account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And I'm just going to map this recipient email address right over here from the response of our previous step, which was iterator. So as you can see the same, so we are simply going to map it. We're going to move on forward. It is asking for CC and BCC. So both of these are not the required fields. So I'm just going to leave it as blank. It is asking me for the sender's email address, so I'm just going to select the same. It is asking me for the sender's name, so if you wish you can definitely add a sender's name, but I don't wish to add. So now it is asking me for the email subject. So over here we have received the email subject from the response of our AI agent, so I'm just going to open the response and map this subject. We're going to move on forward for the reply to, so no, I'm just going to leave this field as blank. It is the email content type. I'm just going to keep it as plain. It is asking me for the email content, so once again I'm just going to map the response of this, which is is my AI agent. Also, after mapping this response, I want to add the blog post link too. So for that, I'm just going to add a message right over here, which is access the blog here. So I'm just going to enter the blog link right over here. So for that, I'm just going to enter this message, which is access the blog here. And now I'm just going to map the blog link. For that, I'm just going to open the response of my Google Sheets and map it. So now after doing all of this, we are simply going to move forward and click on this save and send test request. If you wish, you can definitely fill out the rest of the details too, but all of them were not the required, so I'll leave them as blank. And yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that we have successfully sent an email to this email address. So I'm just going to open my email and check that if we have received the mail or not. So I'm just going to open my Gmail. We are going to go back towards the inbox, and yes, over here you can see that we have received a new mail. So I'm just going to open it, and yes, over here you can see the mail received. You can see that this is the same mail which was generated with the help of our AI agent, and you can also see the blog link right over here. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now as soon as I'm just going to add the new blog title, main topics and blog post link right over here, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered, and further OpenAI is going to summarize and generate a mail for my audience. And with the help of Google Sheets, we're going to get the audience details, and then we are going to send them an email. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and now this is it for the video. And now we don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. As soon as we're going to add the blog title, main topics and the blog post link in our Google Sheets, automatically our AI agent is going to generate the summary and also draft a mail. Further, we're going to send that mail towards our audience with the help of this Gmail action step. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.